Hey, good people. What's up? What's up? This is your girl, Jenny Simon, coming to you live from WeFM Radio 93.9 and 93.3, the Facebook page, and WeFMRadioGrenada.com. This is Simon Says 2.0, the radio version, episode 8. Welcome, all my radio listeners. As per usual, we're going to go straight into it. Now, remember, the little political part before, we're on a break from that for now. We got to a point where I left the NDC, and so we're going to continue later on to what's going on now, what's happening, but we'll get back to that. So right now, we're going straight into the meat of the matter. The NDC administration led by Deacon Mitchell is incompetent and inept, and certainly not capable of governing the country. All this is unfolding right before our very eyes. The Prime Minister is the most capable one. He's the only actor in the movie. Nothing can't happen without him, at least not anymore, since he left Andy Williams as acting Prime Minister and acting Minister of Infrastructure when he took the bribe of $115,000, 100 in hand, and 15 to do bodyworks and to renovate his vehicle, his pickup truck, a white Isuzu pickup truck T4254. Now, Andy took the bribe in exchange for the contract of the Cliff Road project. The contractor, Mr. Nelson Louison, Managing Director of CCCI. The Cliff Road project, now an eyesore, seems to be cursed as we speak. Now, bribery is a crime. Now, it can't happen. And you have to understand that there is a God alive, and he don't like ugly, right? So as we speak, they're trying to get rid of the contractor. Prime Minister himself told us. He said the government is parting ways with Mr. Louison, and he's going to subcontract the work. Mr. Louison's still there. And they can't shake him. They can't shake him. Why? Because he could expose Andy. So he have the axe hanging over their head. And besides, they owe the gentleman a lot of money. Pay the man money. If you want him to go, pay him his money. But then we know they don't have the money. They don't have the money. So the Cliff Road project, they're lingering. It was supposed to be 8 months. This project is 2 years old and almost 2 years old, right? And counting. And if you pass there, you'd see it's nowhere close to finishing. So we're there all next year with this project. They do not have capable and competent, experienced people within that Ministry of Infrastructure to do the work. According to the 2026 budget statement, we are operating at a $309 million deficit. We are $309 million in the red. We had no CRIF payout monies to put in the consolidated fund to help. Right? $309 million. Last year we were $144 million. So the crack is widening. The crack is widening. And they're about to announce a $2 billion budget. Nothing but an election gimmick. So we know election is close with that type of budget. They come in, you ain't have no money, but you have the biggest, the greatest budget ever. $2 billion. All projects are on hold. Closure, Molyneux Road. Well, you know, they opened Molyneux for Christmas, 2 Christmases ago? 3 Christmases ago? And now they didn't finish. They said they needed to put a top coat. By the time they're ready to put a top coat, they had to dig up and put all coats again. And I mean, this is what is stopping them from finishing up the Molyneux project, right? True Blue Road, a mess. Plus, they had a phase 2 that has never started, right? In a rush to show off for the heads of state, they in the rain, in the thunder, in the lightning, they're gone and they're fixing True Blue Road. And now that road has been dug up several times and needs digging up again, right? It's just botch jobs, trial and errors. I have never seen this in my lifetime. In my lifetime. Clarkscourt Bay. We talk about Clarkscourt Bay and the conditions of the road. They make a big voice. They started and they stopped. Months now. And it's the same way. The Mabouya, they said they stopped Mabouya so that they could do closure because they couldn't do two at the same time. It seems like they can't walk and chew gum at the same time. But it has nothing to do with doing both at the same time. It's about the money. They don't have the money. Now, closure is on halt, and so is Mabouya, right? These roads, the quality of the roadworks are below standards. The infrastructure of Grenada is the worst we've seen it in 40 years. The absolute worst. All roads full of potholes. I mean, it's just terrible. Bush growing in the street, practically. And the Prime Minister says, oh, we don't have to do no debushing. Why? You want to do the bushing so the grass, the bush don't touch your cars? He's not driving in his car. The car he's driving belongs to the state. So that could scratch up, right? The Minister of Infrastructure is just one, the Ministry of Infrastructure is just one of the failed ministries of Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell. In a document done by labor market and political statistician Dr. Justin Pear, captioned Grenada's political crossroads, the National Democratic Congress NDC under pressure. Popularity is not performance. It shows clearly the failing ministries governed by Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell. Now, he has some 9 or 10 ministries that he looks over, that he governs, right? Infrastructure, and according to this here, infrastructure and physical development, the raw performance, 37%, way below average, right? Normalized probability, 0.09. Performance category, weak. Public utilities, 35%. That's the performance, 35%. Normalized probability, 0.08. Performance category, weak. Civil aviation, raw performance, 32%. Normalized probability, 0.07. Performance category, weak. Transportation, 33%. That's raw performance. Normalized probability, 0.07. Performance category, weak. These are the ministries of the Prime Minister. And don't forget, he's the best one, huh? And he's the best Mitchell. Joke day. National security, raw performance, 31%. Normalized probability, 0.07. Performance category, weak. Home affairs. Now, how can the prime minister have all these portfolios and is out of the country so often and for such long periods of time? I mean, how is it possible? Unless he's a magician, this could never work. Never. And when he travels and he leaves this list of ministries, his portfolio, with whomever is the acting prime minister, and they have their ministries or ministry to work, to do. How can it happen? Our country is on autopilot, right? So we have home affairs. Did I do national security? Yes, 31%. Raw performance, 31%. Normalized probability, 0.07. Weak. That's the performance category, weak. Home affairs, 36%. Raw performance, 0.8. National probability. Performance category, marginal. Public administration, 39% raw performance, 0.09 normalized probability. Performance category, marginal. Information, 67% raw performance. National normalized probability, 0.16. Performance category, strong. That's the only ministry. And that's because he doesn't have to overlook that ministry, right? A disaster management, 34% raw performance, 0.07 normalized probability. Performance category, weak. Prime ministership, 44% raw performance. Normalized probability, 0.10. Performance category, moderate. St. David's constituency. Oh, Nolene, you have him. You have him by the little round thingies. 49% raw performance. 0.11 normalized probability. Performance category, moderate. Folks, now while the Prime Minister and his entourage is out there having a good time, because he don't leave home without his entourage, at least 6 of them at any one time, having their jamboree, having a good time, our country is failing. Our country is going belly up. Added to his incompetence is the fact that he is always in the clouds. Always in the clouds. Now, according to this here, the caption, Political Crossroads, the National Democratic Congress, NDC, under pressure, popularity is not performance. Now, the microeconomic implications of his travels, right? They said when the Prime Minister is out of the country for long periods, government work slows down. Ministries take longer to approve projects, spend less of their planned budgets, and complete fewer public works. This reduced pace of work means that the economy doesn't grow as fast as it could. Fewer roads get built, fewer contracts are signed, and public money moves more slowly through the system. Economists at the Ministry of Finance estimate that for every 1% drop in government efficiency, the country loses about 6.5 million in potential economic activity. Since government performances falls from about 68% when the Prime Minister is present to 41% when he's away, a drop of 27 percentage points. This could mean Grenada is missing out on roughly 175 million worth of public investment, contracts, and services over a 3-year period. That's money that could have gone towards roads, schools, hospitals, and job creation. You think he care? We could talk from sun up to sundown. No matter what's happening, no matter how important the case, he gots to go when he gots to go. Up in the clouds. We still waiting on an answer from the man to tell us what's going on with the offer made by the Americans to hold temporarily raiders at the Morris Bishop International Airport. He left, he went to Africa, he hold hands, he hug up, he kiss, he wine and dine. And we down here waiting. He come back, he say he had nothing much to tell us from what was said to us before while he was away. And the Ministry of Foreign Affairs put out a release, say they waiting on some investigations to see whether or not, right? And he said he had nothing new to tell us. Weeks pass, and he still have nothing new to tell us, apparently. So we are like sitting ducks, where we like rainstorm. We stuck. We neither up nor down. Added to his incompetence, the man is always away. Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell left Grenada 51 times in 3 years. Travels only first class with a typical entourage of 6 plus at any average time, on an average of 3,000 to 5,000 US dollars per person, with a span of 1,215 days in office. He traveled 51 times, with each mission lasting approximately 8 to 10 days. I mean, this man has nothing to do here. Huh? Estimated 408 days spent abroad. He has spent over 50% of his monthly working days, 11 out of 22 working days per month, outside of the country. Each official mission is typically accompanied by a 6-member delegate, which often includes his Chief of Staff, Teddy St. Louis, his Press Secretary, Neela Etienne, his Executive Secretary, Miss Akira Lessie, his photographer. He don't leave home without his photographer. It's a movie. He has to get the photos. Dwayne Thomas, his social media personnel, advisors, ambassadors like Andrea St. Bernard and Richard Nixon, aides and protocol officials, travels first class, and when he can't get first class, they use private airplanes, private jets. Former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell traveled with his security detail, and I have not counted Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell's security details. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell traveled with his security details, one, and other times, sometimes with Ambassador Patrick Antoine, this ambassador at large, who travels with him and as an advisor as well. 2 of them. So 3 total with his security detail. And what have we to show for all those travels? 1,000 cricket kits, branded Dangote. They give to some itsy bitsy little children, the bags taller than them, and 20 memorandum of understanding, MOUs. It's just what it is, a memorandum of understanding. And you think it's no? We had 13 from Cuba, more than a year now. We ain't nothing about it again. And I think somewhere in the Middle East, they got another 6 or 7. The Ministry of Education, another failed ministry with a bunch of failed projects. The school feeding program, they removed it from $1 a day. Just ask the parents and guardians to send $1 a day. But no, they're big, they're bright, and they have money. So they remove the dollar and they say free school feeding program. To date, they can't get it going. They said, okay, they admit they had issues before, last year and the year before, and they started fresh in September for the new school year, and all was supposed to be well. In a matter of weeks, it went back, it flopped again. Some days is, well, whenever they have food, it's only rice and stewed chicken. Now that's from a school this past week. Yesterday, they had spaghetti and what was described as scraps of fish. That's it. And about an ounce of juice in the bottom of a glass. I'm like, what is this? So no vegetables, no fruits anymore for the kids. Nothing healthy for the kids anymore, right? So they flop, they mash up the school feeding program, right? And then they boast of free tuition for Nulo and Tamsisi. Okay, that's a good thing, free tuition. But did you consider that not all the students need free tuition? If your parents can afford to pay for you to go to school, then by all means. Because there are kids who need free tuition, transportation, school clothing. They need it all. What's the point of giving them free tuition when they can't get to school, when they have no food to eat, when they have no uniform to put on, right? Now, the new law they're boasting about, new law has other fees, right? And here's a breakdown. They have registration fees of $75 plus a passport size picture, a recommendation letter from the last school you attended, right? Then they have Nulo polo shirt, $55 for one. You have to purchase at the center. Trainees sew their own pants and skirts. Of course, you have to buy the fabric. Tuition fee. The tuition fee for Nulo is $250 per term. So they're paying $250 per term. Paid by the government of Grenada. And if you're attending Nulo for the first time and you are a Grenadian or a resident of Grenada, right? Then they have the CVQ certification fee. Folks, a whopping $450, right? It's more, almost twice time the amount of the tuition fee, but tuition free, and that's it. Residence community fee, $50 every week, right? Then you have computer engineering exam fee. You have to call for that detail. Small personal tools and supplies for practical training. You purchase what you need. So you have to purchase your tools. Soft skills courses, such as hospitality arts, early childhood, geriatrics care, cosmetology, and fashion, where is that? You see that why I don't like these phones, Right. Special industry uniforms, right? You have to get all those. Hard skill courses such as general construction, carpentry, furniture making, electrical plumbing, refrigeration and AC, solar insulation, required trainees to have construction boots instead of regular shoes. So you have to get construction boots. when they are at the life skills training as well, you have to keep wearing your construction boots. Look at the amount of monies there. Probably 5 times or more when you add it all up. The tuition. It's not making sense. But the political leader of His Majesty's opposition, Honorable Emmeline Pear, had warned them, had explained to them in the Parliament what needs to be done.
But as a member on the other side, who I believe now, I have reason to believe, is deliberately referring to this program as the free education program. Mr. Speaker, it says free tuition program. That's what it is. I heard the member for St. Patrick East said that we criticized this program. Mr. Speaker, if you go back, and I make no joke with these things, if you go back, you would find that I said I supported this. And if I support and I fall with some constructive criticism, nothing wrong with that. Nothing is wrong with that. It is intended to help to make the thing better and to improve for other people, right? Nothing is wrong with that. That nothing. Mr. Speaker, under the free tuition program, I want to just share a few observations. And I'll stick to my own constituency in case you don't want me to go there. So, Mr. Speaker, there's no objection to this program. Absolutely none. You have the money. You could give everybody. We've always said that. We didn't have it to give everybody. You have it to give everybody, no problem. We will talk about that. Mr. Speaker, so if you have enough money now to give everybody free tuition, no problem. I nothing. Mr. Speaker, what I would say is let us be a little more considerate now to the many students who have received free tuition but are still having trouble going to school. Because, Mr. Speaker, having free tuition and no transportation don't make a lot of sense. Mr. Speaker, well, you know, I try to avoid responding, and please don't tempt me too much, because when you say that, and you talking about 2024, I'm not 2024. I'm talking about children who dropped out in 2023 because of this problem, Mr. Speaker. So don't tell me what's going to happen in 2024. Try not to disturb me, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, under our administration, we gave free tuition to students, but we did not just stop it at free tuition. Let me just make sure and make it clear, because I don't want anybody to say that I said what did not exist. We did not give to everybody. We could not afford to give to everybody. But we gave to those persons throughout the length and breadth of Grenada who applied and expressed an interest and were in need. But, Mr. Speaker, on top of that, we didn't say here is free tuition, that's it. Transportation support was provided, Mr. Speaker. Uniform support was provided, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, supported with exam fees. So you give the free tuition, and now after I would have benefit from the free tuition, I cannot now do the exam because I cannot pay for the exam. So all I'm saying, Mr. Speaker, is this. This is great, free tuition. But it does not benefit many people that I represent, because even when they receive it, they are still unable to assist their children to go to school. So I am not going to say cut it, you know. I'm not going to say cut it and take from the people who could afford. I'm going to say based on your reports, you can now add on transportation. You can now add on meals allowance. You can now add on assistance to pay for examinations based on your glowing reports. Mr. Speaker, all I would add to that, even if it means taking $2 million from the 14 million for independence, even if it means taking something from the 213% increase in CBI revenue. Mr. Speaker, whatever it takes, Mr. Speaker, let us do something for these children more. But that's not the only point that's significant. Because a student who is going to New Law TAMCC, who has transportation, let us imagine, they have tuition, they have transportation, they have meal. Mr. Speaker, do you know that in addition to the tuition at TAMCC and New Law, there are other fees, Mr. Speaker? And Mr. Speaker, some of those can go as high as 1,000 plus. And Mr. Speaker, because of that, there are some students who right now are unable to attend to those institutions because they can only access tuition. Mr. Speaker, I know of a time when tuition was provided, but we also paid for the toolkits. We also paid for the other things where people were not able to access it, but it was necessary to attend.
I can't add to that. We heard from the former Minister of Education, and what she's saying is factual. It makes no sense. You give free tuition and they can't get to school to access the free tuition. And then they had the school bus program, the pilot program. Of course, it must be in St. David's, right? And I've never heard apps so in my life. When they launched this thing, is apps, about 20 apps to give poor people children a bus ride. And they have some card that they had to swipe. Well, one school, I think it was the Crochu RC school, the parents gave it all back. Problems. The whole thing fall apart. Anybody could get on the bus because they had some names. They gave names. They did what they want. When children, siblings, sometimes the one who's supposed to be on the bus, the younger ones, waiting for the public bus or walking while the big ones on the bus. Trial and error. I never believed in Obia. I don't believe in Obia. I don't think I said I do not believe in Obia. Before no, because somebody must do them. That had to be Obia. That can't be normal. Nothing right. So the whole bus, a few weeks ago is when they put up scheduling thing, the program the pilot program supposed to have ended in October, and they're now putting up a few weeks before it ends. They're now putting up schedule on the wall. What is this? I tell you, I've heard the chairman of the board went up and spoke about the different apps that these parents have to look, apps to see the children on the bus, apps to know when they leave home, apps to know when they come home, apps to this, apps, and more apps. The thing failed. Up to now, we didn't hear about it, and the pilot is over. Right? Then there's the WASH program, the NDC signature program. They said it's a brainchild of the Prime Minister. Only that project was first initiated by the previous administration. But all they did, they call it the bathroom and toilet program. But these guys, they have class. And so they could only have highfalutin names for their programs. Did I tell you all the devotion program is called the BEST program? BEST? I don't remember what it's from. I think beautification, something. Fancy names, like the hospital is Project Polaris. Like they changed CBI from CBI to IMA. It's a lot. So this program is called the WASH program. They take it and they say it's a brainchild of the Prime Minister when the former administration had what they call the bathroom and toilet program. But they explained to us about the bathroom and toilet program and other programs of the former administration, and what a great government they was, and the lovely things they did. And there's nothing better than the NNP is Minister Delma Thomas, number 10.
Mr. Speaker, the value expounded in the budget speech delivered by the Minister of Finance and the proud representative of St. George's Northeast, Honorable Gregory Bowen, is consistent with the value of all previous New National Party government. I want to go on record, Mr. Speaker, as congratulating the honorable member and his team who worked on developing a transformative package. Mr. Speaker, this morning we heard the leader of the opposition saying no innovation and no initiative. This is the cookie cutter regularly packaged opposition criticism. It appears, Mr. Speaker, that the leader of the opposition now joined the elite and so would always be vexed when ordinary people get assistance from this government. Mr. Speaker, the package that has been unveiled here indicated a government that is connected to the people, a government that cares for the people, a government that listens to the people, and a government that understands a people's reality. It further expands on the bridge that has been under construction to the future. It is a budget that reconfirms the people's faith because our people know our track record. We have always delivered, Mr. Speaker. Indeed, we shall keep moving because as we emerge from the devastation of the pandemic, we know that we cannot afford to sit down. Mr. Speaker, this march to people's empowerment is a continuous one, which cannot be interrupted by any false detour of untested areas. Mr. Speaker, some of the few naysayers say this is an election budget. An election budget, you said? But wasn't that the same thing you said last year and maybe the year before? Well, if an election budget means dealing with cost of living, looking out for real people, well, every year we have had an election budget because every year we have continued to deliver for ordinary people. Mr. Speaker, this government, the New National Party government, which I'm proud to be a part of, has a proven track record of balancing budgets, of not just balancing budgets, but also balancing people's life. This budget seeks to invest in our people for growth and development, which is a fundamental premise that guides the action of the two very important ministries where I have responsibility. The Ministry of Social Development, Housing and Community Empowerment, and the Ministry of Health, where I have special responsibility for hospital and community health services. As we soldier on this premise, I am proud, Mr. Speaker, and humbled to lead in this rewarding task of leaving no one behind. It has been a challenging period, Mr. Speaker, with the COVID pandemic. It has been a difficult time as we saw our very true wave of the COVID virus. But we are committed as a people, as the staff within the two ministries, to continue working to do what it takes of us, Mr. Speaker, to develop our people. Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased that over $40 million have been allocated to preserving and expanding social safeguards. Of this $40 million, Mr. Speaker, 19 million will be allocated to some form of housing assistance. And Mr. Speaker, during the year under review, where everyone knew what happens in terms of government collecting revenue, in terms of having our first true spike, government has never, ever topped the social programs. Mr. Speaker, in fact, we know that in terms of the pandemic, last year we started having feeling the real impact. But last year is when government had an increase in the housing assistance program. So from 6 million over all these years, last year we reached to $10 million, Mr. Speaker. That is a government that cares. It's a government that cares about the development of our people, understanding and appreciating that everyone around us needs housing assistance, or most people around us within our rural areas, they need assistance. And so the COVID pandemic would have shown us that there are homes where we need to expand, we need to add a room because of some situations, social situations. There were areas where we had fires and we had to rebuild. And we all know very well that there was an increase in material costs. And so in order to sustain providing assistance, we had to move. But we moved at the time, Mr. Speaker, when we were collecting less revenue. It is also important to note that during this year, we had 5 million for bathroom and toilet. But it's also important to note, Mr. Speaker, that this new bathroom and toilet program, a very first program for the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Martinique, we always hear about Sir Eric Gary and the development he has done. But we have never heard of bathroom and toilet in his time. A caring new national party government, Mr. Speaker, during the COVID pandemic, when we collected less revenue, introduced a bathroom and toilet to lift our people out of poverty. So our people not stupid, Mr. Speaker. We can bring anyone and say, we bring youth. Well, we have youth here too. Are you looking? When I got involved in politics, I was 32. That's true youth, not 44. 44 is no youth because I'm within that age range and I'm no longer a youth. But we have our sister Material Stott who's missing here. She's considered a youth. That's why she's missing here. And I want to congratulate her on her newborn baby. Mr. Speaker, she's a youth. That's why she can give birth. When you're over 40, you're not looking to make children anymore. There's no youth there, Mr. Speaker. The youth is around here. Kate Skeeter Lewis is a youth. And many of our members here, Mr. Speaker, we started as youth. Emmeline Pierre, and we have other members who can call the very opposition leader that is talking about youth. He entered this parliament as a youth under the National Party government, Mr. Speaker, and this needs to be known. So we don't get tired, Mr. Speaker, or people are not getting tired about this youthful thing. Because they know that the only government that really cares about them is the new National Party government. We need to look back and we talk about housing. During that time, how many people can say that we receive housing assistance under NDC government? NDC government see housing and improving the life of people, ordinary people as greedy and needy and greedy. That's what they call them. But the only true government, Mr. Speaker, the only true party that truly cares about our people is the new National Party. And our people, they do not forget. So we cannot take them for fool and say there's a way. No way.
They do not forget. Preach it, sister. To talk about housing, we have the Build Back Better project now. I'm going to add another B, the botched Build Back Better program. Folks, persons are getting, and the ordinary manner, house without window, house without door, house without water, house without electricity, house without bathroom and toilet. How do you build back better? And some of these persons had bathroom and toilet in their homes that they lost during burial. You building back better and you giving them a house without bathroom and toilet, without windows. And Andy Williams, who was in charge of the Build Back Better program, stood up in New York in a town hall meeting and said to the people that when they came in and they met the Chinese homes to give out, to distribute, they didn't have closet and cupboards. And how we can expect to give houses to low-income people and they have to build closets and cupboards. This is what this guy said, closet and cupboards, Andy Williams, giving houses to people. I only saw his radio and I can't show you. The house without windows and doors. House without bathroom and toilet. House without electricity and water, running water. Then they say build back better. I've seen houses that look as though they've been through Janet, Ivan, Emily, and burial already. Weather beaten, look horrible. They talk about build back better. How dare you? How dare you? And the Chinese housing that was given as a gift to the government and people of Grenada. They're asking the people, the poor and the vulnerable, persons without jobs, persons homeless, to pay $55,000 and $75,000 for the 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom, respectively. Are you serious? I know of an elderly man. Well, they gave him bathroom and toilet. His own had bathroom and toilet, but no water. They tell him go to Nawasa. He went to Nawasa. Nawasa tell him he had to pay $800 to connect the water. I mean, and this MIT that was in charge of this Build Back Better program had monies flowing through that place. They're calling down contractors and service providers. Come, bring your ID when you come in. Come, let's go to the bank and change this check. 15,000, 20,000, 35,000, depending on the size of the house. But they're collecting the cash. And when the people ready, they're paying them with cash from their ministry, MIT, in which the Minister of Finance said that is illegal. And he's investigating. We hear nothing from him again. Because the project, the Build Back Better project is in a mess. Sister Gloria said, when you see what they're giving the people, it's a shame. And it is a hot mess, right? One person changing check, 45,000, and Miss Dunn from the Ministry of MIT walking you up to Cooperative Bank. She wait while you go in the line and change the check because the check is on your name. I want to know if MIT have their own checkbook. I thought all checks came from the government of Grenada through the Ministry of Finance, where MIT get check to give the people. They give the people, they go up there, they change, and they take back the money. One gentleman told me he told me, I didn't hear what somebody tell me what he said. He spoke to me. He changed a $45,000 check. He had 2 houses to build, one for $15,000 and one for $20,000. Right? Then, 35,000. Then when he changed the check, they take the money. He said he couldn't do the both houses at the same time because he was busy. He had other private projects. He's going to do the small one first for $15,000. When he finished and he went to collect his money, they gave him $15,000 cash and $500 tip. Listen, tip. The government of Grenada giving a service provider a $500 tip. You have money to play with that you can just give a man $500 tip. And now we're in a deficit of over $300 million. Huh? Corruption inside MIT overflowing. After he's spent over $100 million. If you check from the supplementary budget that came out in 2024, September of 2024, he got $24.5 million from that budget. He got $24.5 million and he overspent by $17 million. 17.8 to be exact, million dollars overspent, right? He got $8 million for roads and for housing in St. Patrick. One way, 26 houses to be repaired and 15 new houses in St. Batrick. Huh? Nobody could tell where these 26 houses was, plus the new ones. He got $15 million to build 200 houses to be sold at $50,000 per house. Where are those houses? Where are these 200, houses to be sold at $50,000? Where are these houses? We would like to know, Andy Williams, where are these houses? And plus, another 1,500 for cleanup. That's after burial, right? To clean up on the mainland, up in St. Patrick and up there. St. Mark, a little bit. And then for the 2025 budget, right? He got another $43.891 million. By the time it was, I think it was by May, he spent all of that and in excess of $12 million. Right? So in 2024, in the regular budget, he was estimated to get 27,008,98 thousand. He spent 36 million, 0.26 thousand, 36 million. So he spent in excess of $11,526,000. That is in the regular budget. And in the supplementary budget, he overspent some over $17.8 million. Nobody don't know where them houses are. Most of what you build half done. You're staying out, a new house, you're staying outside and you're seeing the people inside through the boards. The boards not meeting. They ain't had no windows. The people plywood, all the space, because they can't afford to purchase windows and doors. And they inside them little coops in the heat. And you're talking about Build Back Better? And the Prime Minister wait until Andy spent $16 million? Where is it? $110 million that we ain't know where it gone and Build Back Better, right? They spend, according to all the add-ups in the supplementary budget alone, $149,690,921, they say, for burial relief. When you add up all the different ministries that had burial relief, 149 million, but Andy alone, when you add up his for the supplementary and the regular budget, $110 million. And then he decided taking the Build Back Better project from MIT. No, I guess it's overbearing. 100 and he take it back from him, and he say he put it in a new housing ministry, folks. A new housing ministry. We don't know who is the minister, who is the permanent secretary, where is this ministry, how many people in the ministry, and we already have a ministry of housing, right? Don't forget that. Tanticlo is the minister in that ministry of housing. So we have two ministry of housing, MIT with housing, and the housing authority. And it's all one big mess. One big mess. All you think it's easy, all you have any idea what's going on outside there, to be continued. Folks, that's a wrap on today's episode. This is Simon Says 2.0, the radio version, signing off with love and legacy. Stay spiritual, stay grounded, and remember, a better Grenada is possible.